Uh-oh.
Vic's name is Jessica Marnier. She's a temp secretary. Car wash's owner knows her, says she comes in every week.
Oh
But
no.
just to wash your car, right?
Right. Miss Marnier didn't strike him as the kind of girl who did drugs.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Something tells me that the outside of the car is the only place that's clean. Before we get down to it, what's the status on your partner here? I heard Huntby talk to the sheriff.
He did. And the sheriff talked to me about conducting a formal review of our DNA testing protocols. Which I did. Nothing was compromised.
But I'm sure that won't satisfy the feds.
They can satisfy themselves. We've got more pressing matters to deal with. Right now, let's leave the vehicle where it is. So that means we'll only have full access to the front seats. When we have the coroner pick up the body for autopsy and impound transport the car back to the garage at the lab, we'll be able to finish
Lab.
processing the rest of the car wash.
That's the victim's roommate over there, named Veronica Carver. The owner of the car wash called her. All right. Well, I'll run our victim through the database, see if anything pops up. Let's get this done by the book, you two.
Best partner ever. Hold on.
The surveillance camera's aimed at the car wash's entrance. If it's working, it must have caught our victim driving in. I'll check with the owner. We'll be able to process the brushes once we get the car moved to the garage. But let's make sure we've completely processed the initial scene first.
Okay, alright. Okay, alright, okay.
Looks like she's missing an earring.
Ennyi? Komoly. Catherine ennyit tudott intézni.
Hello, Ms. Carver. We're from the Las Vegas Crime Lab. We just need to ask you a few questions.
Okay, sure. I mean, of course. I'm just a little, you know, shaken. I see death all the time, but never like this. Never someone I was close to.
You see death all the time?
Oh, that sounds awful, doesn't it? I mean, I'm a registered nurse. I'm sorry if I sound a bit out of it. It's just that when the guy here at the car wash called me about Jesse, I'd just gotten off work in a double. He called me around
Azt nem
9
megy ez a
p.m.,
szar.
by the way, if that's important for you.
Nem mint a sok értelme lenne, de... Eltűnt, hogy nem virított mögöttem.
Drugs? I really don't know. Maybe some pot occasionally.
Pot. Never anything else. You know, Veronica, it'll really help if you tell us the whole truth.
Okay. I've seen Jesse use cocaine a few times, but just recreationally. This is Vegas, right? Sometimes you do stuff you don't exactly write home about.
Uh,
Yeah, I knew about her little road trips. Jessie told me she liked to come here because she just loved the sound the brushes make as they clean your car. I guess they sound pretty damn good when you're stoned. I wouldn't know. Jessie seemed like she could handle it, you know? But all those drugs. Oh, who was I kidding? I should have done more to try to stop her. I should have tried to help her. But I only tried to mind my own business and pray she got better. Jessie's my roommate. What was my roommate? We live like 10 blocks from here. Just Will. I mean, his name is Guillermo Rice, but everyone calls him Will. He's an old school friend of mine, and he's Jessie's boyfriend. Oh, God, how am I going to tell him about this?
Thank you, Ms. Carver. You've been very helpful. Go get some sleep. We'll be in contact if we have any more questions.
oh well.
The GPS holder's empty. Might still be around here somewhere.
Somewhere.
If our victim OD'd, then that may be our murder weapon. This GPS unit is broken. I'll take it back to Archie and see if he can recover any data from it. Our victim might have gotten into convulsions and knocked the GPS out of its holder. It's a needle mark, probably from the syringe we found.
Easy.
Well, it's definitely been used. You better double check for any more prints. I don't want to overlook anything.
Shit.
We've got a usable print. Probably our victims. We better run it anyway. I'll call down to the coroner's office to arrange for the
Coroner's
body to be
office.
picked up.
Hmm.
So the fingerprint on the GPS holder isn't Jessica Marnier's. It belongs to Manuel Molina's. And according to Mr. Molina's arrest record, he's no stranger to possession and distribution of narcotics. Right now, he's on parole, so we have an address for him. I'll have Brass pay him a visit.
I've completed the autopsy on Jessica Marnier. Come on down when you get the chance.
Yeah, boy. On my way.
Hi, Doc. What you got?
Your victim's COD probably won't surprise you. Acute myocardial infarction caused by intravenous ingestion of benzoyl methylecgonine and morphine. Based on liver temp, I'd say her time of death is somewhere between 8 and 10 this evening. I did recover some skin cells from under her nails. Here they are. The pattern of the bruising is very suggestive of a 4+1 on both arms.
Fingers on one side, thumb on the other.
Someone held your victim hard enough to leave an impression. I'd say very close to the time of her death. Tox indicates high levels of benzoyl methylecgonine, but you know it better as cocaine. There are also toxic levels of morphine. This particular drug combo, you might also know better as a
Speedballing.
speedball. Inflammation of the tissue inside the nasal cavities is definitely consistent with recent habitual use, and dare I say, abuse of cocaine.
So Jessica Marnier may have been looking to kick her high up a notch.
Yeah, because it's all fun and games until your heart stops. Yes, it is. You know, this may be nothing, but your victim's medical records indicate that she was right-hand dominant. So you'd expect to find any injection points along her left arm, not her right. But maybe she was just desperate for a good vein. Obviously, I can't say anything with absolute certainty. But what I can say is the bruising and the injection site are not inconsistent with the passenger inside the vehicle around the time of your victim's overdose.
That passenger may be Manuel Molina's. We need to talk to him as soon as possible.
You're also going to need Jessica Marnier's DNA and prints.
Hey, I just thought you should know. Something strange has come up with Agent Huntby. No one can find him. It's been 48 hours, so the feds are asking me to put out a bolo for him. I don't know what's going on, but it's not good. I'll let you know if I hear anything else. Also, we didn't have any luck finding Manuel Molina's at his home address. Got a bolo out on him, too.
Impounds delivered Jessica Marnier's car to the garage. I want you to process it very carefully. I also want us to go back to the car wash and make sure we didn't miss anything. Now that the vehicle's gone, we can process the rest of the car wash. Let's take a better look at those brushes. Red fiber. The employees here wear red jumpsuits. I'll see if I can get a sample for comparison.
Hova? Nem enged itt tovább, ez nagyon janky. Pedig már reménykedtem. Úristen. Ez a sok location. Ah. Mhm. Na jó van. Húzta minden rákba.
The owner of the car wash has kindly provided us with their surveillance footage. There was only one camera, but it might have picked up something useful.
Kiírta egy CD-re. Ó,
Looks like there's some residue on it. Better get it analyzed. That little tear could have been caused by any number of things. See if you can narrow it down a little. That won't help you.
mi fog segíteni?
That might give us a clue as to what exactly made that tear.
Hát jó.
Got that sample from the red jumpsuits the employees wear at the car wash.
Oké. Oké, man. Slowly he turned.
Cocaine and morphine. Your basic speedball.
Speedball.
Benzoyl methyleconine. Cocaine. Benzoyl methyleconine and morphine. The speedball cocktail. But what's it doing in the tear on the headrest? Let's pay Doc Robbins a call down in the morgue.
Let's. Trend micro. Wow. Szerintem nem ugyanaz. Nagyon nem.
Fibers don't match. You know, the owner told me he just replaced all the brushes in the car wash. So anything on them that isn't from an employee is probably something that was deposited there very recently.
Wow. God damn it. Ez biztos, hogy nem ez. Sheesh.
According to the timestamp on the surveillance footage, Jessica Marnier drives into the car wash at 9 p.m. Now, Robbins puts her time of death at somewhere between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., so we're closer to pinpointing her exact TOD. Wait, what's that? Jessica appears to be wearing both earrings when she pulls into the car wash. And look, the GPS is in its holder, so it definitely got knocked out while Jessica was inside the car wash.
Knocked out.
Jessica Marnier's fingerprints may be on the syringe, but it doesn't completely explain why she may have injected herself in the right arm when she was right-handed. Guillermo Rice. Veronica said they just call him Will, and he's Jessica Marnier's boyfriend. Looks like he's also familiar with narcotics. Mostly misdemeanor possession charges, no convictions. Bags full of pure cocaine, and Jessica's boyfriend's prints on it.
A cső.
Hi, Doc. Got some more questions for you about the overdose case.
You've learned something new?
There was residue
Hülye
of
szitu.
benzoylmethylecgonine and morphine in and around a tear in the driver's headrest of our victim's car.
Interesting. It certainly suggests that the needle used to inject Ms. Marnier came from behind her.
Jó volt. Elvok. Elvok. Kicsit túlaludtam magam. Hát ja, de szerintem itt már nem lesz. Az előzőben még volt egy. Mármint az előző kézbe.
Well, if there had been a struggle, then I'd say it's very possible the syringe needle may have gotten caught in the fabric of the
De elég
headrest.
komikus.
I'm just about to review my autopsy notes and re-examine the
Skyrim,
body.
wow.
I'll let you know if I find anything else.
Let's hear what Will Rice has to say. We need a warrant, and Jim's our go-to guy.
Hogy Skyrimozol. Jesus. Skyrimezgetésekben.
Based on what evidence? All right, so you have Will Rice's prints in the car and on a used plastic bag of cocaine, which is
Valmen.
also part of the cocktail that killed Jessica Marnier. Nice work. I'll get you your warrant.
Mármint in person vagy? Abba van kóp? I'm confused.
Good evening, Mr. Rice. Thank you for coming in to talk to us.
Yeah, well, it's not like I had a choice.
No, you're right. Courtesy has a way of getting
Vagy kreáltál egy női karaktert a játékba, és arra gondolsz.
Homicide investigation? I thought Jessie died of an overdose.
So you knew she was a drug addict.
She wasn't a drug addict, but yes, I knew she took drugs sometimes.
Mr. Rice, before we discuss your relationship with Jessica, we'd like to learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah. Az kemény. Skyrim. Miért pont Skyrim?
Records we have indicate you dropped out of college not long ago.
I did. I felt I was pretty much spinning my wheels in school, so I chose to get out into the real world. School of hard knocks, right?
Not if your parents are paying all the bills for you. What is it that your mother and father do again?
You leave them out of this. They're good people. They're hard-working people who took me in when I was a child and raised me as their own. Whatever this is all about, it has nothing to do with them. You understand?
Hú, ez a Hitman nagyon jólnak tűnik. Néztem tegnap este így, hát nem néztem, csak ment a háttérben az egyik Moncsimon a Ella Jazz. Ugye ő nagy, meséltem már róla, elég komoly ilyen Hitman speedrunner, meg hasonlók. Eléggé keni. Aztán azt néztem, ahogy ő nyomja. Aha, svéd. És nagyon jó vibe-ja van annak az egész játékmódnak. Alapból, hogy tényleg egy ilyen kampány alapú az egész cucc, az nagyon jó flash benne, az nagyon tetszik. Meg az, hogy van egy ilyen hideoutod, és akkor tényleg mint a Blood Money-ba, hogy ott vannak a körvonalai a fegyvereknek, elképesztő mennyiségű cuccot meg lehet szerezni. Meg tényleg az, hogy azért egy elég komoly randomizált twistet belead az egész játékba.
We were in love. We'd been dating almost a year, and we moved in together 6 months ago.
So things were going well.
Yes, yes they were. I wanted a future with her, but what's the saying? Man plans and God laughs.
Skyrim, visszatérve a Skyrimre, az meg nagyon komoly, elképesztő mennyiségű órát bele lehet rakni a Skyrimba. Meg az, amit kiadtak már izére a Samsung hűtőre is, nem? Vagy mi a tökön volt valami ilyen mém vele?
No one. The only thing I can think of,
De lehet.
she only mentioned it once. She said she had a brother who was murdered. That's all she told me. She didn't want to talk about it. Do you think that might have had something to do with this?
Ez biztos, hogy a Skyrimot is kiadták nagyon sok mindenre. Lehet, hogy a Doom-mal csak ténylegesen megcsinálták azt, hogy valami operációs rendszert futtató hűtőre rá is telepítették.
V and Jesse? Wouldn't call them close, but they got along okay most of the time. V and I sort of dated back in high school, so I think she could sometimes be a little overprotective. I was at our apartment, asleep.
Can anyone verify that?
I don't know. Veronica, maybe? Like I said, I was asleep. Look, I know you think I did this to her, but I could never hurt Jessie. I loved her. She was everything to me.
on a used bag of
Ki
pure
van tesztelve
cocaine.
a
Look,
Godfather
we
game
party. We like to have
gépem.
fun. We've done some coke together.
Kicsit felcsűrtem modokkal, hogy fusson 10-80-ba meg ilyenek. Egész jó vibe-ja van. Egy-két helyen ragyog. Fut szépen, meg minden, de hát nyilván csak
No,
elindítottam,
that's
megnéztem,
not
hogy
my
fut-e
thing.
rendesen. De jó van, tehát én játszottam azzal régen, hogy tudom, milyen. Csak hogy milyen stream ready. Aztán arra gondoltam, hogy ha ezt ma letolom, hogy nem fog sokáig tartani, akkor lehet annak neki kezdek. Hogyha vagy. Tehát, hogyha programod van, akkor
I
Akkor nem
seriously
erőltetem.
doubt it. But, you know, like I said, there were some things that she didn't want to share with me. It's not like she tried to hide that from me. It was just something she said she needed, like a ritual.
azon amúgy simán elfutna az a szar.
This? I've had it for years, but it's actually become what I like to call our communal sweater. Probably anybody who's ever been to our place has worn it at one time or another. Jesse used to say it was like a house pet that we didn't have to walk or feed or clean.
Ja,
We're gonna need a sample of it.
4 nap. Jesus.
Well, Mr. Rice, at the very least, your print on the bag of cocaine is going to interest the district attorney. I'd say your continued cooperation with us might go a long way to convince him of your sincere desire to make amends. You can begin by providing us with your DNA, as well as permission to search your apartment.
Again, how could I possibly say no?
I finished re-examining the body, and I did find something important. A second injection site. It's situated high on the back of the victim's neck, concealed along the hairline. Based on the bruising around the wound, it would appear Ms. Marnier was injected in the back of the neck before she was injected in her right arm.
Sheesh. Hát jó, de ez is tényleg az, hogy mennyire van normalizálva valami, ez csak attól függ. De persze, fúr, megértem. Nekem is fura, amikor úgy megyek dolgozni, hogy rendesen végig heteket, és akkor csak 2 nap ilyen pihi van kvázi. De hát persze, te meg most ahhoz vagy hozzászokva, hogy 2 napokat nyomsz max. Processzáljunk.
Not many 20-year-olds can afford a place like this.
Planes not
His
million.
parents really take care of him. How we try to buy a child's love. All right, let's get down to business here. The warrant only gives us permission to search the living room and Will and Jessica's bedroom. Veronica's room is out of bounds. Wait a second, is that someone in the shower?
Oh. Nem lehet bemenni. Sheesh. Elmegy, gyűjtsünk. Hú.
We didn't recover Jessica's cell phone at the scene. This one may be hers. Let's get it back to the lab and run it and see who's left this voice message too.
Tududing.
Is there something inside that book?
Tudja, hogy valami pipa lesz benne. Oh shit, no.
Recognize who's in this picture? She may be 20 years younger, but that's Beatrice Salazar,
Mi ez a
the
kép?
queen of the hive herself. She looks pregnant. Funny, I don't remember reading in the case file about her having a child. I wonder what this picture is even doing here.
Prego.
Look, dust the clippings for prints, then let me handle it from here. Until the sheriff and the FBI are on the same page with us, it's best if I take any heat on anything related to Salazar.
Salazar. Oh, there she is. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Medicine bottle. Let's get it analyzed.
Ennyire ominózus, hogy itt van egy ekkora szekrény, és egyetlen egy üveg se van benne, bazd meg. Pubes!
A blonde hair. Jesse and Will are both brunettes.
Hol van a másik szoba?
That's
Aha.
Veronica's room. We don't have permission to search it.
Én nem engedte be. Jenk. Hát jó van. Hmm.
Jesus, who the hell are you?
We're from the Las Vegas crime lab. We have a search warrant.
Damn, you scared the hell out of me. I didn't hear you guys come in.
Excuse me, aren't you Manuel Molinas?
Yeah?
You're just the man we're looking for.
Sheesh.
You know, Mr. Molinas, for a man on probation, you certainly are hard to find.
You know, you call me Mr. Molinas, and it's like I'm looking over my shoulder for my dad. Call me Manny, okay? Look, I'm gonna be totally straight with you. My P.O. knows exactly where I am, at all times. If you have a problem finding me, I suggest you discuss the situation with him. Now, what do you want to talk to me about?
Jessie died of a massive overdose, Manny. She use around you? Was she a customer of yours?
I'm on parole. I don't sell nothing to nobody. But, man, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but Yeah, you know, I seen her smoke a little weed, maybe toot a little blow from time to time, but it ain't like she's some crack hole or something.
The lettuce.
I'm fresh out of jail, so where am I living? A place where the only way I'm gonna get the man to fix my plumbing is at gunpoint? Know what I'm saying? And I got enough problems. So Will was kind enough to let me rinse off at his place.
Sheesh.
Yeah, but you know, I'm down with the ladies too. It's just that me and Will, we go way back. He's like a brother, man.
Oh, brother, man.
She cool, pretty tight. You know, what can I say? My man Will, he totally dug that chick. To me, she was just alright. Not like we were into conversating much. So, I don't know what to tell you. My print is there on that particular item because, wait for it, I installed it for her last week as a favor to Will. 'Cause it ain't like he's Mr. Tool Time.
That's all the questions we have for now, Manny.
Yeah,
We'll be in
yeah,
touch if we have any
whatevs.
more.
Well, if you have a problem finding me, you know who to talk to.
The one name that keeps popping up for us is Veronica Carver. Now, we don't have a warrant to request a sample of her DNA, but perhaps she's left one for us in plain sight somewhere without even knowing it.
Oh, yes. Dumb
That's
idiot.
the cup Veronica Carver was drinking out of. And it was lying there in plain sight. So, we don't need a warrant to collect a sample of her DNA. I need to talk to you. Sheriff just got off the phone with the
Jesus.
FBI. They still can't find Huntby. It's like he's AWOL. So now, the feds don't know what to do about his accusation that we mishandled potential DNA evidence on the Salazar case. The sheriff called in a favor, and we got the statue back that you originally tried to recover the DNA from. Let's re-swab it and see if there's anything we missed. I know the situation is starting to go from weird to worse, but let's just try to stay focused on processing the evidence.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
No wonder the sample got corrupted. There's already sodium lauryl sulfate on the surface of the statue. So when you tried to process it the first time, you were actually applying twice as much
Oh my
SLS
God.
as you needed. Someone tampered with this evidence, all right, but it wasn't you. We need to talk to Brass, right now.
What's going on?
There's a development in the Salazar case.
Find Agent Huntby?
No, but there's a new reason to be looking for him, Jim. We found sodium lauryl sulfate on the statue. It was put there before the DNA was ever taken. Someone deliberately rigged it so that the evidence would corrupt as soon as we tried to process it.
And Huntby's the last in the chain of custody. Well, just before you, that is, right? Good work clearing your own name as well as the reputation of the lab. I'll forward these results to the feds.
You know what this means, don't you?
The Queen of the Hive has drones inside the FBI. I'll keep you posted. And you guys, watch your back.
Drones. Kibugolt ez szar. Oh my goodness. Ugyanaz. Faszi, add már be.
A red sweater somehow found its way to the crime scene. We need to ask Will Rice what he knows about it.
Na de. Meg kellett mennem kifújni az orromat, bazzeg már fullakoltam már itt. Nem tudom, mi a ráktól van eldugulva az orrom, de... Operáción Salazar. Ez a kép.
Run that print. We'll keep searching the newspaper for more, but let's just see who else is interested in Beatrice Salazar. Good job. I don't think we're gonna find any more prints on that.
Thanks for the heads up. No. Okay, ma'am. Take your time.
Morphine. One of 2 essential speedball ingredients.
Okay, ma'am. Ah, no chance. Ooh. What the fuck? Oopsie.
Veronica's hair in Will and Jessica's bed. So, either someone was cheating or maybe Three's company.
Holy shit.
So how did Veronica Carver's DNA end up under Jessica's fingernails? It's probative, but not enough to get a search warrant. We need to dig deeper.
Whee! Bam! Shoomp!
Will Rice left his print on the newspaper clipping.
Dum dum. Doo-doo.
So, Will Rice has his hands on both morphine and cocaine. But is he a murderer?
Ay, real.
Seems as though our victim handled this press clipping on Beatrice Salazar. So, Will and Jessica have an interest in Salazar. I wonder why. Let me handle this. I
Wonder,
don't want you to worry
wonder
about getting mixed
why.
up in any more controversy. If there's another issue, I'll take the hit.
The plot thickens.
You can't just walk away from this, Jesse. You think I'm just gonna stand by and watch you use him? You gotta stop messing around with him, you hear me? Manny's a low-life scumbag. I'm telling you, Jesse, if you hurt Will, I will kill you.
That voice sound familiar? Sounds like Veronica Carver. She left that message on Jessica's voicemail the night Jessica died. I think Will Rice was right. Veronica sounds very protective. Manny's a low-life scumbag. Well, she's certainly not a fan of Manny's, but seems like from Veronica's point of view, Jessica might have been. Veronica had access to the sweater. She neglected to mention getting into a fight with Jessica the night of her death, so I wonder what else she's not telling us.
Crazy. Never mind.
What evidence do you have? So she never said anything about getting into a fight with Jessica? It's suspicious, but do you have anything that actually ties Veronica to the crime scene?
What?
So you're telling me you matched this DNA sample to another one you recovered from a styrofoam coffee cup? A coffee cup Veronica Carver allegedly threw away at the car wash, but you didn't actually see her toss it? I'm sorry. I'm gonna need more.
We just want to ask him some more questions.
Well, believe it or not, even though he's on parole, we can't necessarily just bring him in whenever we feel like it. Have you tried talking to him at his place? All right. I'll set it up.
Oh my god. So you really think I killed Jesse while wearing this sweater? And now I'm wearing it while I'm sitting right here in front of you? This is crazy. I don't know what to say. I swear, anybody could have taken this sweater. Look, maybe someone's trying to frame me. It was in the living room, and I put it on after my shower. I'm pretty sure about that. But I think Jessie may have been wearing it earlier when she left the house. And then I think she came back at some point to drop off some dry cleaning. So I guess she might have left it there then. I've never seen that before. It's not mine, and I really don't think it's Jessie's.
Well, maybe we should give you a blood test, just to be sure.
No, you don't need to do that. The bottle's mine, but it's not what you think. I was in a car accident back in high school, and I've never really bounced back from it. And sometimes, I need that stuff just to take an edge off the pain.
Okay. Then why did you lie about it, Will?
Because I didn't kill Jessie. But here she is ODing on a speedball while I'm holding onto a bottle of morphine. I know what it looks like, but you gotta believe me. I would never hurt her.
I choose to
Uğraştım.
believe the evidence, Will.
So you're sitting in the back seat, weren't you, Will? Maybe you came along for the road trip. Maybe not. Regardless, you figured you had the element of surprise on your side. But she surprised you, didn't she? She wasn't going to go down without a fight. She fought as hard as she could, but in the end, you just overpowered her. You stuck that needle in the back of her neck and plunged that poison
Yeah.
into her. And then you injected her one more time in her right arm. Oops, what's the matter with you, Will? You forgot she was right-handed? That was the dead giveaway for us that the scene was staged.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I didn't do any of that. It's not like there's some force field keeping Veronica out of our bedroom. We're roommates and we're friends. She comes in there all the time. She plops down on the bed. We talk. That's it. I don't even fantasize that there could be anything more than that. Manny? Known him forever. We're real close. Yeah, the plumbing's all busted up at his place, so I lent him a key to our place, let him use the shower. Yeah, I bought it for her, but Manny installed it. I was taking a nap, or trying to. I think I might have heard something. Veronica yelling, but I really can't remember.
We found this in your apartment. It was hidden inside a book.
I have no idea what that is. I may have touched it, but I still don't really know what it is. I mean, I found it a few weeks ago, just like you did, in one of Jessie's books. I asked her why she was saving it. She said she'd cut it out for one of her friends who was doing some school project on organized crime. Made sense to me, so I left it at that. No big deal.
Yeah.
Our victim might have gone into convulsions and knocked the GPS out of its holder.
What do you got in the way of evidence? So, Will Rice alleges this is a communal apartment sweater, huh? Meaning he and Veronica both had easy access to it, and it matches the fiber found in the car wash brushes. Okay, let's bring her in.
Miss Carver, your roommate died from a lethal injection of cocaine and morphine. But she didn't inject herself. Someone stabbed her in the back of the neck with a needle, and then that person tried unsuccessfully to make it look like an accidental overdose.
You mean Jesse was murdered?
Yes, and we have some
Murdered.
additional questions for you.
Sure. I mean, whatever I can do to help.
Mr. Rice claims it's left out in your living room, that anyone and everyone can wear it. Well, we found a fiber from it at the crime scene.
Weird. I wouldn't know how it got there.
Weird.
You seemed pretty shaken by her death.
I kinda knew about Jesse's struggle with drugs, so it was bad enough to think she'd OD'd. But now you're saying someone killed her. It's just hard to wrap my mind around the whole thing. But yeah, we were really close, and I'm gonna miss her a lot. Look, it's not like we didn't have our differences, and we lived under the same roof, so yeah, we argued every once in a while, but now all that stuff we ever fought about seems incredibly stupid.
Ms. Carver, on your voice message to Jessica, you told her, and I quote, "You can't just walk away from this." Walk away from what exactly?
In all honesty, I really didn't feel she was treating Will right. I knew she was keeping things from him. I mean, he knew about the drugs and the road trips, but there were other things. Calls she'd step outside to take, and she was always texting somebody. And then there were times when she'd leave the house, and I'd ask her where she was going, but she'd refuse to tell me. She just had too many secrets. I saw Manny pick up Jesse from the house a few nights ago. Obviously, Will wasn't home, and I was supposed to work a double that night, but I got cut. Jesse didn't think anybody was going to see her take off with him, but I did.
Sneaky.
You certainly sounded angry in your message. You said you'd kill Jessie if she hurt Will.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I was very serious about confronting Jessie about the lies she was telling to Will. But that didn't mean I was really going to kill her. I mean, it didn't even mean I was going to throw down with her or anything. I'm not into violence.
Okay. So if you were planning on having this civilized discussion with Jessie about her dishonesty, could you tell us how your DNA ended up under her fingernails?
It started out civilized, then the volume got turned up, and it got a little physical. Jessie pulled my hair, and she slapped me. She denied everything.
Show me the clip.
I know what you're thinking, and for the record, I got over Will a long time ago. But now we're roommates and we're really good friends, so yes, I have been known on occasion to visit with him in the bedroom he shares with Jessie. I've sat on the bed, I've probably even taken a nap on that bed, but that is the extent of my activity in that room.
Does this picture mean anything to you?
No, never seen it before.
We believe it was familiar to both Will and Jessie.
Could have been, I don't know. Neither one of them ever showed it to me. Yes, I knew. He got into an accident back in high school. His leg's never really been the same since.
Mr. Rice refused to disclose how he acquired the morphine. Do you know anything about that, Ms. Carver? That same bottle of morphine contributed to Jessica's death.
Will didn't do it.
Are you sure about that, Ms. Carver?
I'll never understand why, but Will was crazy in love with Jessie. There is no possible way he killed her.
Then where did he get the morphine?
I don't know.
I think you do, Ms. Carver. And if you really want to protect Will, you'll need to start telling us the whole truth. Right now.
Will's not telling you where it came from because it came from me. I got it for him. I got it from the hospital.
Why would you do that for him? Why jeopardize your entire career?
Because the accident, it was my fault, okay? That's why. We were just stupid kids and we'd both had too much to drink, but I was the one driving. I knew it was risky sneaking the morphine out, but there were just so many times Will was in such pain, and he asked me, and I couldn't refuse.
Oh
Don't
boy.
leave town.
I'm not going anywhere.
It's Nick. I'll put him on speaker.
Shit.
Hey there. So I recovered that data from Jessica Marnier's GPS. I'm uploading it to your case file right now. So, here's how it breaks down. She starts out at her apartment, then she heads over to an address belonging to a fellow named Manuel Molines. Then she goes to a dry cleaner's, and then back to her apartment, and finally she ends up at the car wash. Hope that helps you guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Nikki. Another sin of omission.
Oh, Nikki.
Manny didn't tell us he'd seen Jesse. Let's pay him a visit and see what else he's hiding.
Idiot.
I just got off the phone with Brass. You want to hear something interesting? Brass was going over Manuel Molina's records, and guess who Manny allegedly ran a shipment of drugs for last year? Beatrice Salazar. Of course, that connection was never fully substantiated, but isn't it curious how we can't seem to get out of her business?
Oh.
I guess that must be from the plumbing problems Manny mentioned.
Ooh.
That'll probably be from Manny's latest round of community service. Anything outside of the trailer like this is in plain sight. We don't need a warrant for it. Okay, Manny's got a picture on his phone of Will and Veronica together. Apparently rekindling the old flame. Phone looks pretty clean otherwise. Hang on. There's a message in the sent box from Manny to Jesse. I'll download it into your case file. It says, "She's dangerous, don't risk it." I'm gonna guess she is Veronica.
Shit.
Come in, officers. Mi casa is... never mind. Su casa probably ain't a dump like this, huh?
Sup, Jesus?
What you need, officers? You didn't come out here 'cause I'm popular.
Yes.
Well, not only did you fail to mention that, you also made it sound like you barely knew Jessica.
Yeah, well, she blew by. You know, real quick like. Just wanted to ask me something about Will. Get a guy's perspective on the situation. That sort of thing. It was surprised to see her, tell you the truth. If you can smoke it, or snort it, or stick it, I've sold it. But that's like past, you know, tense. I'm on parole, but you guys already know that. So, if you're really asking me if I sold to Jesse and or Will, my answer's no. I ain't the only dealer in town, right? But you guys already know that, too.
Smart ass.
Like I said, only way the guy's gonna fix it is with a gun to the head. And I'm already on probation as it is.
Seems like Will and Veronica have been rekindling their old spark.
Damn, I was wondering where I left that thing. Look, I snapped that photo, but I shouldn't have, 'cause it ain't my business. Will's gonna do what he's gonna do, right? And that's that. So I was just gonna leave it at that, know what I'm saying? I was gonna delete it as soon as I could remember where the hell I left that damn phone.
And what about the
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
text message we found that said, "She's dangerous, don't risk it"?
Okay, it's like this. Jesse
Don't
wants to
risk
go
it
all
for the
Oprah
biscuit.
and talk to this puta about her possessive nature. And I think about it, and I text back, no, I don't think so. You know, she's kinda dangerous and all that.
Exactly how dangerous is she, Manny?
All right, she ain't like dangerous, right? She's just straight out loco. That's all.
We're gonna need to take your phone.
No problem. Take what you need. Take it all, man. Now, I mean seriously. If Veronica has anything to do with what happened to Jesse, then I want to help you guys do whatever you need to do to nail her. It is what it is, you know?
Does this mean anything to you?
Whoa, Haven't seen that face in a while.
You worked for Beatrice Salazar. Is that right?
Beatrice Salazar? Who's that? You must have me mistaken for somebody else. Somebody with a death wish. And that ain't me, my friend. I'll be like, you know, counting the seconds and stuff.
Veronica's been lying to us from the start. It's about time we got a warrant to search her place. Let's talk to Brass.
Átnézem ezt a patkányukat.
Hang on. We can't take that until we've got a
Oh
warrant.
shit. Nincs házkutatási parancsunk, úgyhogy...
Manny wasn't lying about the plumbing. This place is a dump. We might want to call a building inspector.
You can call the bomb squad if you think it'll get my toilet fixed.
I'm gonna take a fat dump in that toilet and that's gonna fix it. Trust me.
Based on what evidence? If she's been lying about this, then what else is she lying about? Okay, I'll get you that warrant.
Thanks, Daddy.
Okay, with a warrant for Veronica's room, the entire apartment is fair game for our search.
What? What is that? Oh.
That looks like Jesse's missing earring. It's Nick. Hey, Nikki, I'm putting you on speaker.
Hey, I just got off the phone with an administrator over at Desert Palm Hospital. Veronica Carver said she got off work at 9 p.m. Well, according to the administrator, her shift actually ended at 7 p.m. Let me know if you need me to follow up.
Will do. Thanks.
She's a liar.
A laptop power cable. But where's the laptop? That looks like it's a cable for the laptop in Manny's trailer. Didn't he say it belonged to him? That fiber doesn't look like anything from either Jesse's car or Veronica's room.
Come on.
Nice find. That print may tell us more about what that cable is from.
Sheesh.
No, I told you before, Will and I are just friends. Very close friends. What the? Who took that? Look, it's just a kiss, that's all. A kiss between friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Miss Carver, the truth is you've been lying to us from the start. Give me a reason why we shouldn't arrest you for obstruction right now.
Okay, the truth is, Will and I were getting closer again. But it was all because of Jessie. All her secrets and lies. They were pushing Will back to me. Honestly, I wasn't trying to manipulate anything. I really tried to do the right thing, I swear. But the heart wants what it wants.
Ugh.
Excuse me, but what the hell kind of question is that? Jessie always went to the car wash alone.
Veronica, how did Jessica's earring make it back to your room?
I have no idea how it got there.
Miss Carver, when you gave your initial statement to us, you said you finished your shift at 9 p.m. But when we checked with the hospital, they said you actually finished your work at 7 p.m.
I don't know. Maybe it was around 7. Look, I don't remember. Jessie was dead. I was in shock.
You had access to the morphine from the hospital, and you had access to the cocaine from Will, and you wanted Jessica out of Will's life once and for all.
I couldn't have killed Jessie. I was with Will, okay? We were in bed together. Please, just ask Will. I might not be an angel, but I'm no killer either.
Don't leave town.
I'm not going anywhere.
All right. I'll set it up.
Really? She told you that? She's gonna get fired now, isn't she?
She is if it's true. Is it?
Yeah, it is. Look, it's not like she's a dealer or anything. She's definitely not a user. All she did was do me a huge favor. I mean, I practically begged for it. I told you, we haven't been together in a long time. Where the hell did you get that?
Your bro, Manny Molina's took it. Now, do you want to tell us what's going on between you and your high school sweetheart?
You guys really are a piece of work, you know that? Veronica and I were sleeping together. Is that what you want to know? Well,
Yes.
there you have it. That still has nothing to do with what happened to Jessie. I'm not proud of it, but it's the truth.
And you didn't think to mention this alibi a little earlier?
Hey, maybe you can switch gears that fast, but this thing with Veronica was a big secret. A problem for me.
Mm-hmm. Back to the motherfucking lab. Gyors kiderítjük ki, ez az új lenyomcsi.
Looks like Manny used the power cable at some point. Why would he charge his laptop in Veronica's room?
Majd mindjárt megkérdezzük, hogy mit gondolt. Keep talking! You've got mail.
Yeah, it is. Is that a serious question? I don't know. Maybe I was charging it last time I was over there. Who knows?
Okay, is that your story and you're sticking to it?
Okay, bye.
Ó, Miért nem lehet innen megváltoztatni azt, kivel akarok
All
beszélni?
right. I'll set it up.
Do you usually let Manny charge his laptop in your room?
Manny? If he has a laptop, I don't know anything about it. The only laptop in my
Ah.
room is Jesse's. I'll admit it. I was
No
snooping.
probs.
I wanted to find out what she was obsessing about, but I couldn't get into any of her files. There was some kind of password or something.
Sounds like we need to have another talk with Manny.
Don't leave town.
I'm not going anywhere.
Jó tetted.
She also said it should still be in her room. Are you sure that laptop belongs to you, Manny?
Look, Will asked me to pick it up, bring it over to my place. So maybe he didn't tell Veronica about it. And now I'm like, I don't want to really dime out my bro. But there it is.
I think it's about time we took a look at that laptop everyone seems so interested in. Let's ask Brass for a search warrant.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
What evidence do you have? It would certainly be interesting to see what's on that laptop, especially if it belonged to Miss Marnier.
Akkor most megkaptam. Király. Go back. Lenne bazdmeg egy olyan faktor is ebbe a játékba, hogy minél kevesebbet utazgassál, meg ne tegyél fel ilyen felesleges kérdéseket. A nehezebb lenne.
Doesn't look like Manny's around, but the search warrant still applies. It's the same model of laptop as the cable we found in Veronica's room.
Yeah. Úgy.
Jessica Marnier's infamous laptop. Let's get this back to the lab.
Back to the motherfucking
Something's
lab.
causing that leaking. Let's see just how full of crap Manny is. Well, that could have been a lot worse. Looks like a worker's glove. Why would Manny try to flush that?
Rip bozó. Nem egy.
It's a match. This ties Manny
Yay!
Molina's to the crime scene and to Jessica's murder. Let's take this to brass. The data on Jessica's hard drive was encrypted. We were able to open it up, and we found a motherlode of information on Beatrice Salazar. Nick's going through it all now. Somehow Jessica Marnier had access to sensitive FBI files, but she's not a current or former employee of the Bureau. Otherwise, she would have been flagged as soon as we ran her prints. There's also a lot of information about a Robert Marnier, a federal agent who was murdered a few years back while investigating Beatrice Salazar. I'll do a cross-check. Looks like Robert Marnier was Jessica Marnier's brother. No wonder she was obsessed with the Queen of the Hive.
You're not gonna believe this, guys. I was digging through Jessica's FBI files on Beatrice Salazar, and it turns out she has a son. She gave birth over 20 years ago, but persuaded the hospital to cover it up by designating it as a stillborn. Then she secretly put up the boy for adoption. An informant later claimed the boy was adopted by a very nice, very rich family. Last name of Rice.
Will Rice?
The very same. So, it looks like Jessica was convinced that Will was Salazar's son. She also made several notations about Manny Molina's. She knew about his connection to Salazar.
We have access to both Will's and Salazar's DNA. Let's see if there are 7 alleles in common.
Khalil.
Jessica was right. Will Rice is Beatrice Salazar's son. But the question is, does Will know that?
I got an update on Huntby. The feds are now completely convinced Agent Huntby is compromised. They're rolling out all their assets to apprehend him. And so are we. If I hear anything else, I'll let you know.
What? No, I mean, that computer was really important to Jesse. I wouldn't mess with it.
Sheesh.
I don't believe it.
Mr. Rice, I'm finding it very hard to believe you didn't know about Jessica's personal obsession. I'm finding it even harder to believe that once you found out about it, once you found out that Jessica believed you were the son of the woman who had her brother executed, well, I can't believe there weren't consequences.
You go straight to hell. I told you I didn't know about any of this.
Calm down.
Then the volume got turned up, and it got a little physical. Jessie pulled my hair, and she slapped me.
Istenem.
What do you got in the way of evidence? The glove ties Manny to the crime scene and the murder. And the Salazar link can't be ignored. You got your arrest warrant.
That laptop was full of information on Beatrice Salazar. Jessica believed Will Rice is Salazar's son, whom she gave up for adoption about 20 years ago. And she was right. I'd say
Jeez.
that's the kind of information that got her killed.
What do you want me to say? I have no knowledge of this situation with this lost mother and son.
And Jessica knew that too. Your name was in her notes. It certainly wouldn't look too good for you if Salazar found out you'd been selling drugs to her son all this time.
I swear to God, I don't know about what's on that computer. Well, he must have forgotten he told me. The hell I did. I mean, I've been to jail and all, done some shady stuff, but I ain't no killer.
Killer, no filler.
Your glove left trace evidence on Jesse's earring. Jessica Marnier visited you on the night of her death, and just like you said, she was there to tell you about the situation with Will. About how she discovered you were both connected to Beatrice Salazar. Will was her son, and you were her flunky. And that's when you realized you couldn't afford to risk the Queen of the Hive finding out that you were her son's pusher, especially when it was a son she'd been keeping secret all these years. So you took the red sweater Jessica had accidentally left behind, and then you mixed a deadly cocktail. Sourcing the ingredients was pretty easy for you, and with your expertise you knew exactly how to use them. You found your way into the back of her car, hid there, and when she was distracted, you injected the speedball into her neck. You hoped injecting the rest of the mix into her arm would just make it look like another overdose death in Vegas. Washed up and washed out. But when you were through, you noticed you had a problem. One of her earrings had come off during the struggle, and you accidentally took it with you. So you carefully removed it with the gloves, and then you decided to take out a little insurance policy. You left the earring in Veronica's room when you went back to the apartment to drop off the sweater. You took the laptop from her room and returned to your trailer where you tried to flush the gloves. And if you had better plumbing, you just might have gotten away with it.
Dios mío. Dios mío. You gotta understand. I had to do it. This girl, she knew too much, and she wanted too much. You know she wanted me to set up some kind of happy reunion between the Queen and Will? That's insanity. I tried to warn her that Salazar is loco dangerous, that she shouldn't rattle the hive, but she was obsessed. I did what I had to do. Believe me, jail will be heaven compared to what hell the Queen would have done to me if she'd found out I'd been messing in her family business.
That's Will Rice. It's really too much to hope that any case involving the Queen of the Hive would end neatly. Or cleanly. What can you tell us?
He was found in an abandoned warehouse downtown. Marks around his neck are consistent with strangulation. Wasn't a hands-on job. The bruising pattern suggests some kind of ligature was used. In light of recent events, my first instinct was suicide. But skin under his nails suggests this young man fought for his life. We're looking at a homicide here.
We need to run that DNA right away.
Ruta. Előfordul. Ez is csak egy számítógép, ami besokal egy idő után.
Hi, Doc. Got some more questions for you about the overdose case.
You've learned something new?
Dock Troy. Ennyi? DNA? Hát jó. Wake the fuck up! Routeres dologgal kapcsolatban? Nem arra reagáltam, hogy néha előfordul az ilyen, hogy az is csak egy postos számítógép, amit néha újra kell indítani.
Oh my god. She killed her own son.
Listen to this. Dispatch received the call 15 minutes ago.
All I ever wanted was for my son to know a life free of this cruelty. And yet, the Queen must do whatever is necessary to protect her hive. It must remain strong at any and all costs. If one bee threatens to weaken the hive or let in the enemy, do you know what she must do? She must eliminate it. My boy's blood is on your hands.
Whee! Olvasd up. Ez majdnem 2 óra volt ez az akta. Akta. Boss fight. Bonkers! Nyájövök. Na back. Let's go.
Hello there, Professor. First time to Pendleton? It's as close as you can get to Nye County without actually having to step foot in it. You're going to be familiar with our victim, Manuel Molinas.
Drug dealer we just arrested for the murder of Jessica Marnier. He's connected to Beatrice Salazar. What's he doing in a Pendleton jail cell?
A few years back, feds decided they needed a facility to handle their more sensitive prisoner transfers in and out of the southwest United States.
Le van csulázva a feje.
Someplace off the
Vagyis hát
radar.
gondolom, hogy az az.
Someplace like Pendleton. So they wrote a big check to the town council and upgraded their existing jailhouse in exchange for occasionally taking over the place. Our tax dollars at work.
I thought this building looked a little too metropolitan for a town of 35. Isn't that officer one of ours?
Yes, he is, but Sergeant Lip's been tapped before by the feds to coordinate this kind of transfer. Their plan was to quietly move Molinas out of our lockup and into this undisclosed location, then hold him here until he could be interviewed by a federal prosecutor and formally transferred into federal custody.
Not a bad plan. I wonder what went wrong.
Looks like everything. Okay, I don't need to tell you. This is now priority number 1. Molinas' transfer was on a need-to-know basis. The first I heard of it, the sheriff and the deputy director of the FBI had me on the speakerphone, screaming that somebody dropped the ball. So I got my ass out of there and secured the scene.
Is Agent Huntby still missing?
Yes. And based on his apparent effort to sabotage your handling of the DNA evidence in the Salazar case, the FBI strongly suspects he was a mole for Salazar and now officially considers his disappearance UFAP.
Unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, meaning he's a fugitive.
Sheesh!
And very likely a suspect in this homicide. Sergeant Lip should consider himself a very lucky man. Whoever broke in here to silence Molines wouldn't have wanted to leave a living witness. We'll need to get a full statement from him.
Pistol.
Looks like a small caliber automatic. A 22, maybe a 25. From what I've observed of the victim's wounds, this could be our murder weapon, but I'm letting myself get ahead of the evidence, aren't I? Let's see what Doc Robbins has to tell us at autopsy.
Pont ezen töprengtem valamelyik nap. Fel vannak töltve ezek a Three Dimensions of Murder epizódok is a YouTube-omra. És azokat beklémelte a CBS, mert hogy elméletileg referencia egy bizonyos évadra. De mindegy, aztán nem is ez a lényeg, hanem az, hogy abban volt az, hogy ott azt hiszem rendesen ilyen ballisztikus teszteket lehetett csinálni a fegyverekkel. Tehát az is egy opció volt, hogy ugye össze-vissza szerelgeted a fegyvert, és akkor csinál egy ilyen ballisztik tesztet, mert sok lövöldözés volt abban a játékban. Ami mindegy, visszatérve a CBS-es claimre, meg fellebbeztem őket, és mondtam, hogy bro, ez csak egy kibaszott videójáték. Ami promotálja azt a gagyi show-t, ha egyáltalán bármiféle befolyás van ezeknek a dolgoknak még.
Yellow powder. We'll want to get that back to the lab. The cell was locked during the shooting. We don't know exactly where the shooter was standing as he fired, but that powder might indicate his position. The keys are in the lock. Our shooter might have unlocked it, but he didn't need to open the cell door in order to shoot Molines.
It's an unpleasant thing to look at. Elég kájlos valóban. Uh-oh.
This digital recorder stored all the footage from the security cameras in the station. The hard drive's been crushed. We might be able to put it back together at the lab.
Crushed.
But it'll probably take weeks to do that, plus salvage any data on it, and that's if we're lucky. I think we might learn more by just putting the case back together. Certainly be a better use of our time.
Jól van, Morpheus. Chill the fuck out.
Hey.
Sergeant Lip, I'm Ray Langston. My partner and I are with the Las Vegas crime
He's
lab.
Morpheus.
Yeah, great. But please, call me Tim. This is just a spectacular screw-up.
Ez a voice actor, ez volt már használva, vagy ebbe a részbe, vagy egy másikba.
That's a pretty serious head wound you have there, Tim. Looks like you've lost quite a bit of blood. You might want to get that looked at right away.
You know, it must look a lot worse than it feels right now. Honestly, I feel okay. And if you don't mind, I'd like to stay here as long as you might need me.
Az előző részben volt. Már szembe jutott, hogy ki. De most belehallgatok, kivívok nagyon. I'm gonna kill you. Oh shit. Na ez egy chat, bazd meg ilyenkor. Miért ilyen gagyi? Wap, 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 wap.
STD tests on the same day. I can give you my medical record number or whatever. You guys can look stuff like that up, right? I don't know what Clorinda's was.
Dr. Robbins, our coroner, can provide Clorinda's medical records to us. Write your number down and we'll look it up on the medical database.
No problem.
I want more.
Medical records to us.
Look, yeah, we had sex pretty much every day this week, but she was a married woman. It's not... No, I didn't. Whatever it was, knocked me out in one hit. Mr. Molines was here awaiting his interview and formal transfer into federal custody. I'd say approximately an hour before the federal authorities were scheduled to arrive, around maybe 8 p.m. or thereabouts, this tall and, if I remember correctly, Hispanic male, wearing a suit, he enters the facility and presents FBI credentials. I turned around to reach for the paperwork, and bam! That's the last thing I remember.
Hitman.
I woke up behind the desk here, and then I went to check on the condition of the prisoner. I observed that he'd been shot multiple times, and that he was dead.
What did you do next?
I called it in, tended to my head injury as best I could, and just waited for you guys to show up.
You didn't observe any further sign of the shooter, or whether he had an accomplice?
I didn't see anything. He was long gone, or they were gone. I don't know if he had help. Unfortunately, the assailant disabled our surveillance. He smashed the recording unit to pieces, what's left of that DVR over there. I don't remember the name on the identification. I'm sorry. I thought I got a really good look at it, too, because I didn't recognize the fella, but it's all real foggy to me right now.
I understand that this kind of prisoner transfer is on a need-to-know basis, but is it standard operating procedure to post a single guard?
No, it isn't. But in this case, it was necessary because, well, you might find this a little hard to believe, but our budget's been cut pretty radically, so the truth is, we couldn't afford to assign an additional officer. We were definitely whistling through the
Defund the
graveyard,
police.
I know that now, hoping we could get away with this one, but we were wrong.
Who made the final decision that you alone would transport and protect Mr. Molines?
I did, actually. The sheriff ordered the prisoner transfer, but I'm the sergeant in charge of operational command. That means duty assignments, tactical protocols, and budget outlays. I was the one who evaluated our risk assessment on this one, and I was wrong. Dead wrong.
We all make mistakes, Tim.
Yeah. Only this mistake cost a man his life, Mr. Langston.
True.
When federal authorities need the building, the sheriff and his deputy actually work out of his house. Can you believe that? There's just not much crime here in Pendleton. Not much of anything here, really. From what I remember, he was tall, approximately 6'1", Hispanic male, between 200 and 225 pounds, clean cut. I mean, I don't think he would have caught me off guard if he hadn't looked like a federal prosecutor or FBI agent. Nope. After I regained consciousness, I opened up the cell in order to check on the condition of the prisoner. And that's when I observed the multiple bullet wounds to Mr. Molines, and I quickly determined that he had died of those wounds. Hey, let me know if you find something, okay? Maybe you guys can help save my job.
We'll do our best, Tim. Now, if you don't mind, I'm also a doctor, so I'd like to take a look at your head wound there.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus
Good
fuck.
news here is you're going to live, but you're going to need stitches. So now that you've given us your statement, Tim, I am not taking no for an answer. We're going to get you to the hospital.
Okay, I understand. Thanks, Doc.
Well done. I believe we have enough evidence here to begin processing at the lab. It's your call. That's the rag Sergeant Lip applied to his head to staunch the bleeding.
Rap snitches. Tell them more the business.
It's blood. Sergeant Lip may have been pistol whipped.
Quish.
It's a fragment of some kind. It looks like it got wedged in the slide. Whatever it is, it's underneath the blood, which means it was there before the blood was. I'll call the coroner to pick up the body. We need to get a reference sample of the ammunition fired by this pistol to compare against the slugs found in the victim. This pistol fires .22 caliber long rifle cartridges. Unfortunately, not a particularly unique type of ammunition. It's a favorite among amateur hunters as well as professional assassins.
$22. Ugh. Let's do the DVR first. A pisztolyt szét lehet szerelni. Írd. Connect already.
Looks like there's a small piece of it missing. You know that shard we found wedged in the gun at the crime scene? I think it just might fit in this gap. Let's try it. Yes. A perfect fit.
Őrületesben. Chemical analysis in progress. Keci, ez a feature ebbe a játékba. Minden egyes alkalommal, amikor elindítod a bármelyik gépet, Geci lefuttat egy vírusírtót. Annyira egy shameless ilyen product placement, mint a picsa.
Pollen of the southwestern wood lily. This flower is native to Nevada, but it's rare.
Okay, alright, okay, alright. Ó, meg kell szlabolnom előbb azt a szart.
Since he left it for us, I'm sure Sergeant Lip wouldn't mind if we processed a sample of his DNA.
Hát nem az övé, bazd meg. Nem lesz jó. Vagy mégis? Ö. Sheesh. De bazd meg is jó. Ez kurva. Fíj.
Blood on the gun here is Sergeant Lipp's, which means it was definitely used to strike him in the head.
Ray, where are we now with the Molina's case? I read Sergeant Lipp's statement.
Well, Sergeant Lipp isn't telling us the whole truth.
How do you know?
We recovered a gun at the crime scene, and wedged in the slide, we found a broken piece of the unit which records all the surveillance footage. Now, not only was that shard stuck in the gun, but it was also underneath some blood. Blood which turns out to belong to our very own Sergeant Lipp. It means that little piece of plastic was in there before Sergeant Lipp was struck in the head.
But according to Sergeant Lipp, the assailant entered, presented him with ID, and then when this sergeant turned his back, the assailant knocked him out. You think he would have noticed the assailant smashing up surveillance equipment before he got knocked out?
You'd think so. You'd also think Sergeant Lipp wouldn't turn his back on a guy like that maybe he'd even draw his own weapon. But for some reason, that's not how it went down.
Hello there, it's Doc Robbins down in the morgue. I've finished the autopsy on Manuel Molina's. So whenever you're ready, I'm available to review my findings with you.
Készen áll segget zabálni az öreg, azt mondta.
Nice to see you. How can I help? I found 2 bullet wounds, both potentially fatal, and both were consistent with the damage you'd expect from a small caliber hollow point. One bullet penetrated his heart practically dead center. It severed the pulmonary and aortic valves and lodged in the ventricular wall. That alone would have killed him. However, I also found what I believe was the first shot. It penetrated the frontal bone of his cranium, just above the glabella. Bullet obliterated his brain tissue in an expanding channel from the entrance wound. It then bounced off the back of his skull and continued its path of destruction until it came to rest in the cerebellum. Death was quick, if not painless.
Well, this wasn't a mercy killing. One to the head, one to the heart, usually suggests a professional killer.
Nagyon ért
Neither slug
hozzá.
was particularly difficult to extract. Here they are. Absolutely. I have a sample ready for you. Here. I found a glob of what looks like mucus on the victim's face. I collected some for you.
Someone spat on his face?
That's what it looks like. You see, the less viscous bits appeared to flow down the side of his face. So unless he was already lying on the floor when he was shot, it occurred post-mortem. Anytime.
Anytime, anyway. Nem operáltad ki belőle a golyókat? Nem azokat a golyókat, hanem amivel lelőtték. De kioperálta őket. Nope. Oh, gets. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Get in there! Egyen megy el, Getsz az egész. El se lesz itt fixen. Mi ez? Piros-kék, és még piros-kék, bazd meg. Gah. Na jó, kettes lesz se. Kettes se lesz szerintem. Way too bonyolult. Az meg. What? Jesus Christ.
Beatrice Salazar. She spat on Molina's corpse. I wonder if that was a message for him or for us. Catherine, you need to see this.
Is this right? You found Beatrice Salazar's DNA in the cell.
She shot Molina's and spat on his face.
Well, she wasn't about to have him try to testify against her, that's for sure. But why would she risk trying to kill him herself? That doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, she also held him responsible for having to kill her own son.
But even under normal circumstances, this would have been a suicide mission. Not a lot of guys are crazy enough to do something like that. Even the ones that work for her.
I think she's crazy enough now to do just about anything.
Well, that may be true, but maybe she wasn't taking as much of a risk as we think. Sergeant Lip described the assailant as a tall Hispanic male posing as an FBI agent. What do you really think the chances are that Beatrice Salazar has become a master of disguise?
I think we need to be very careful if you're suggesting Sergeant Lip may be involved here. I realize we have evidence that contradicts the sergeant's initial statement, but if we're going to pursue this, then we better make damn sure our evidence is unimpeachable. Keep me in the loop, Ray.
It's confirmed. The gun from the crime scene is the murder weapon.
Murder weapon.
Both bullets taken from the victim were fired from the same gun.
Sheesh. Mire jó ez. Engedjük el.
Jim, we've uncovered evidence which substantially contradicts Sergeant Lip's account of the shooting.
What evidence? What are you talking about? The guy was viciously attacked. His skull was almost busted in. I mean, it's not like he's gonna have some photographic memory of exactly what happened.
Busted.
Beatrice Salazar? Oh my god. Look, we'll bring in Sergeant Lip to answer some more questions, but I know how these things have a way of going down, Ray, and I don't want us to throw a good cop under the bus just because this department needs a scapegoat.
What's going on here, Captain?
Just a few follow-up questions, Tim. We just need to document everything for the record.
No, like I said, tall, Hispanic male, wearing a business suit, approached me. He showed me an FBI badge, an ID. Look, do you need me to sit with a sketch artist? I can do that if it'll help.
Yes.
We found Beatrice Salazar's DNA on Manuel Molinez's corpse.
Beatrice Salazar? What are you talking about?
Are you familiar with Beatrice Salazar?
I'm familiar with the FBI's most wanted list.
Are you sure you never saw Miss Salazar?
I told you what I saw. I guess it's possible she came in after I was out cold.
Tim, according to your statement, the assailant entered the jail, offered you an FBI ID, and when you turned around to process it, he struck you over the back of the head, rendering you unconscious. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. It went down pretty fast.
You see this little piece of plastic? It comes from that unit which records all the footage from the surveillance cameras. We found it stuck inside the slide of the gun that struck you. Problem is, we found your blood on top of it, not underneath as you'd expect, if your statement were accurate. It looks as though the DVR was struck before you were.
I don't know how that could have happened. Wait, couldn't he have hit me more than once, like after I was out?
If you were struck more than once, we should be able to tell from the pattern of the bruising.
I don't know about that. I've had about enough of people touching my head today.
Sergeant Lip, let's not make this more complicated than it needs to be. If necessary, I'll get a warrant.
Damn it. Okay, do what you have to do.
This won't hurt at all. My partner just needs to take a picture.
Ilyen ominózus pisztoly kinézete van ennek a csapásnak.
And that's it. Like I said, painless.
Yeah, thanks.
I only see evidence of a single wound. The bruising on Sergeant Lip's head is a perfect match to the shape of the murder weapon. That little divot there is right where the DVR shard was, and those ovals are consistent with the finger placement of someone holding the gun by the grip. There's something strange about the angle, though. The gun was upside down. To strike someone with a gun while you're holding it by the grip, you're either hitting with the butt, like a hammer, or with the side of the gun like you're swinging a haymaker punch or slapping someone. If Sergeant Lip was struck from behind, like he says he was, then the gun would be right side up. Sergeant Lip did this to himself.
Sergeant Nib.
That's right. I had my back turned, and he hit me in the back of the head.
Here's the problem, Tim. You see those oval patterns right there? They indicate the gun that hit you was held by the grip. And if you were hit from behind, like you said, well, then the gun should be right side up. And it's not.
Yeah, sure, the first time he hit me, but what about after I was out? He could have hit me again, right? Maybe he wasn't just trying to knock me out. He may have been trying to kill me.
There's no physical evidence you were hit more than once, Tim. And let's say for the sake of argument, you were hit twice.
Timmy!
Right on the exact same spot on the back of your head. It still doesn't explain why the gun was upside down.
You staged your injury, didn't you, Sergeant? You're in Salazar's pocket. And you used your position as duty sergeant to arrange to be alone with Molina's. Then you let Salazar in there. And let's be generous here. Let's just say she's the one who actually pulled the trigger. And then the good little soldier you are, you cleaned up after her, didn't you? You make me sick. And you know what? I hope there's a special place in hell for dirt like you, because I know there's a special place in prison.
It wasn't like that. I mean, look, you gotta understand, I'm in way over my head here.
Keep talking.
You're right. It was a setup. After Molina's was booked, I got a call. Same call I always got, if Salazar needed something from me. This time, the voice on the other end of the line is telling me to keep my eye on Molina's. Turns out I don't need to look very hard, because the sheriff calls me almost immediately with the order to have Molina's moved out to Pendleton and transferred to federal custody. So I call my contact back, give him the tip. Then he starts asking me to describe the Pendleton facility and the security detail handling the transfer, and that's when I realize Salazar's gonna take Molina's out. I decide to assign myself the transfer just so nobody else gets hurt.
How very noble of you, Tim.
Look, I'm not proud of what I did. This is all way beyond anything I've had to do for Salazar before. Usually it's just about providing certain information now and then.
Idiot.
I can't.
You can't. Or you won't.
I wasn't there. All I did was unlock the door, and then I got the hell out of there.
Why do I find that so hard to believe?
You gotta believe me. See, this is what happened. I got this phone call from my brother-in-law. Swear to God, he works for Salazar too. He says Salazar's gone off the deep end. She's getting the hell out of town, but before she does, she's totally cleaning house. And she's not leaving any loose ends, including me.
Was that supposed to make us feel sorry for you?
I had no choice.
You're a cop, damn it. Well, not anymore.
Come on, we're talking about my sister and her kids here, all right? Salazar was gonna kill him if I didn't help her. Don't you get it? When she finds out I'm in custody, she's gonna kill him anyway.
What's your sister's address? What's her address? Come on, we don't have much time.
I don't know where they are. That's the point.
Salazar has them?
No, her husband, my brother-in-law, he hid them someplace. I don't know where. I can't reach him. I haven't been able to reach him since he called to tell me Salazar was cutting bait. I think Salazar may have gotten to him. And if she did, my sister and her kids, they're dead. There's nothing more you can do. They're dead.
Okay, so who's your brother-in-law?
He works for the FBI. Special Agent Huntby. Gene. My brother-in-law is Gene Huntby.
Jesus
Nice
fucking
work,
Christ.
Just got off the phone with the DA. Sergeant Lip is going to be charged as an accessory to murder.
Was Brass able to locate Lip's sister?
Not yet. He gave us Sergeant Lip's cell phone number and an Attorney General's waiver. Lip's been in contact with his brother-in-law, Huntby, within the last 24 hours. So, Brass is hoping we'll be able to find Huntby before it's too late for his wife and kids. We know Huntby's last cell phone call to his brother-in-law pinged a cell tower over in North Las Vegas. Brass has his guys checking hotels in the area, but so far, nothing. I can't tell you how bad I want to take down Huntby. But making sure his wife and kids are safe is now our #1 priority.
Gigadix.
The key to finding the family
70-is
is finding
emote.
Huntby.
So track him down. I know if anybody can do it, you can. Keep me informed.
Tim, it's Gene. call me back. I don't want you to worry. I got them to a safe place. For now, anyway. Look, I'll be honest. This is all unraveling so fast. I don't know how long I can... Just hang on for one damn minute, will you? Just call me back, okay?
That's not much to go on, I'm afraid, but didn't it sound as if he had words for someone in the background?
Tim, it's Gene.
Hey, pal, you mind? You're blocking the freight elevator. Hello? Yeah, we're at Gleason's right now, waiting on some jerk to get out of the way so we can take the stuff upstairs.
Gleason's. Why does that sound familiar? You know, when I first moved out here with my whole life in tow and I wasn't exactly sure how long I was going to stay, a friend of mine suggested a storage facility. And I seem to remember the name being... There it is. Gleason's Family Self-Storage.
Morph.
The owner said a man fitting Agent Huntby's description is using this storage locker. He's renting it under an alias. Huntby's wife and children, this may be useful. Odd. Why go through so much trouble just to keep some blank papers safe? These boots look like they've been used recently. These are ripe.
Sniff, sniff. So.
Blank paper. But... Do you smell lemons? Did you know that lemon juice can be used as invisible ink? Urine can too, but it seems that we lucked out this time.
It's bits!
If we apply a little bit of heat to this type of invisible ink, then whatever's written in the lemon juice will become visible. This looks like a breakdown of Salazar's distribution network in the southwest United States. Names, amounts, delivery routes. Maybe Huntby found himself an insurance policy, just in case he got in too deep with Salazar.
In too deep. Ilyen uncanny egy szar. Geci Lórez fotó, de látszik, hogy a Agent Huntby az úgy van oda photoshopolva, in-game modellként, viszont mind a másik három szereplő a képen az egy rendes valódi ember.
Looks like we found the source of that smell.
Ez a játék, ez így minőségileg nagyon, nagyon leadott az előzőhöz képest.
Lysichiton americanus, the
Anus.
common skunk cabbage. This plant isn't native to the Nevada desert. Huntby must have traveled somewhere outside of Vegas to have stepped on it, and that trip couldn't have been too long ago. Otherwise, the plant wouldn't still be emitting that odor. Wherever Huntby went to get skunk cabbage on his boots, it couldn't have been too far from town. I can only think of one reason for him to get out of town so fast. So we need to talk to someone who knows him well, someone who's familiar with his daily habits, someone who might be able to give us some insight into where he's been.
You guys find my sister? Is she alive?
Shut the fuck up.
Skunk cabbage.
It's a plant not native to the desert. It's found in rainforests and swamplands. Occasionally, you may find one in a mountainous region.
No, nothing at all like that. They never went anywhere. My sister used to complain about it all the time. But I think Gene was too scared to leave, you know, in case someone found out what he was up to while he was gone. No idea. That's an old picture. His kids are in high school now. Wait a second. I do remember something. When the kids were small, around the time that photo was taken, there was a place not far from here.
Mountains? Lake?
Mountains. Close to Zion National Park.
Utah?
Yeah, we vacationed there together, all of us. I remember that plant now because it smelled terrible whenever we stepped on one. Burl, that's the name of the town. Burl, Utah. Gene talked about buying a place there all the time afterwards. Come on, you gotta check it out. If Salazar finds them before you do, they're all dead.
We're coordinating with the Utah State Police. There's only one highway in and out of Burl, and they've got roadblocks and checkpoints up. We got something. Utah Highway Patrol just stopped and searched an SUV registered to a Salazar associate. 4 men inside the vehicle. All were taken into custody without incident.
Well, do we know if they were coming or going?
I'm not exactly sure. The men haven't been booked yet, and the officers haven't filed their reports.
What about the search for Huntby's wife and children?
Utah State Police tell me that the sheriff in Burl hasn't found them yet. Hang on. This could be the sheriff now. Brass. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down, Doc. Are you sure? Okay, then. I'll send them right over. We found Huntby.
Great. Is he saying where his wife and children are hiding?
He's not saying anything. He's dead. Apparently someone broke into the coroner's office and left him just lying there in the hall outside the morgue.
My God. It looks like hundreds, maybe thousands of bee stings. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of being 2 steps behind Beatrice Salazar. Assuming she's responsible for this. There's got to be something here that will lead us directly to her. Let's find it.
Queen of the fucking hive.
Looks like a serial number. We'll see if Brass can have it traced.
It's done!
Looks like a fresh transfer of some kind. Maybe paint?
Gagyi szar.
We may need this.
De az egész game, minden annyira lórez, mint a picsa. Nagyon csömör. Meg olyan, nem tudom, olyan uncanny. Ilyen unprocessed feelingje van az összes textúrának. De ez a legdurvább. Itt van ez a 3D-s kocsi, hogy forgatod ezt a cuccot, lehet így piciben nem fog látszódni, de itt van rajta ez a 2D-s effekt. Ez a fehér festék, amivel interaktolni lehet. És így alá látsz, látod, hogy lebeg. És meg már nem is enged bezoomolni, de az előbb, amikor bezoomoltam, látszott, hogy konkrétan olyan low res, mint a rosszabb.
Okay, let's run it. Looks
Time
like your
out.
card is made for the Select Stop Corporation. That's that new chain of big box hardware stores in the area. Sure.
Thanks, Jim.
I can't believe this is happening. That's right. The audacity of these people. They're lunatics. So I get this call from my wife. She's shopping at Select Stop. It's this new big hardware store over on Silverado. Anyway, she calls me and says our car's been stolen. We just bought one of those Zeus XTs, too. Thing's barely been used. Anyway, I leave to pick her up and file a police report. And when I walk back in here, there's Agent Huntby, right there in the hall. Bee stings covering almost his entire body. Never seen anything like it.
Never eaten out everything like that.
I have no idea. David was out on a call and both my coroner's assistants called in sick today. So I have no witnesses for you. I'm sorry. I won't know until I do an autopsy, and I can't do an autopsy until you guys release the hallway so I can actually get to the morgue. If I had to guess, though, toxic shock related to the literally thousands of bee stings all over his body. If this queen of the hive lady's trying to send us a message, well, she's not being very damn subtle, I can tell you that. Never seen it before. I assume the guys who broke in here used it to roll Huntby's body in. I just got a call saying they found it a few blocks from where it was stolen, right around the corner from the Select Stop. They've got it impounded. With the way things are right now, it'll be a week before I get it back. I just got a call saying they found it a few blocks from where it was stolen, right around the corner from the Select Stop. They've got it impounded. With the way
Miért
things are right
megkérdezi
now, it'll be
még
a week
egyszer?
before I get it back. Look, I really don't want to contaminate the crime scene. You need to collect whatever you need to and figure out who dumped the body in here and how. And once you've done with that, I'll go to work on Huntby. Hey, I'll make you a deal. Clear the path to my morgue, and I'll do an autopsy on Huntby if I have to work all night. In the meantime, I'll stick around the lab and see if I can help Hodges. I'm sure he'll appreciate the extra set of eyes double-checking his work.
Blinky, bazd meg. Jó nagy köcsög. Ja. Ignác.
Looks like auto paint. Maybe Brass can tell us more about what kind.
Auto paint. Auto.
Sure. The color and composition of that auto paint is specific to the Zeus XT. I'd say it's pretty likely whoever stole that cart probably stole it at the same time they stole Robbins' Zeus XT from the Select Stop parking lot. Poor guy, he's not going to get his car back soon. I'm going to have it picked up and taken over to the garage.
Jó, nagy seggfej lesz, bazd meg.
Aha. Look at that. That fingerprint could belong to Dr. Robbins or his wife. We'll have to run it. Those are Doc Robbins' parking credentials to access the secure lot behind the morgue. Those are Doc Robbins' parking credentials to access the secure lot behind the morgue. The paint's scratched. That must be where the transfer on the card came from.
Blinky Bill biztos örülni fog neki. Szét van basszva az autója, amit most vett.
We can't take that.
Jó van már.
Looks like blood. I'm comfortable clearing Robbins' vehicle for now. Good work.
Robbins' car. Fuck. Menj már oda bele. He. Nem jó, bazd meg. Egyetlen egy variáns nem jó, az meg oda. De egy kitöltjük amennyire lehet. Aha!
That confirms that Huntby's body was definitely in your truck, Doc.
Oh, great. Judy'll be thrilled. I hope she doesn't make me sell it.
Your wife does know what you do for a living, right?
Oh.
Say hello to your suspect, Doc Robbins.
Man, I wish I could be there with you guys when you slap the cuffs on this idiot. So let me get this straight. This Gamos guy steals my car from the Select Stop parking lot, picks up Huntby's body, drives it to the morgue, waits until he sees me leave, then accesses the morgue's employee lot with my new car. Then he dumps the body in the hallway.
He also put a nasty scratch on your car with the flatbed cart he stole.
I've had enough. Beatrice Salazar better pray there isn't a scrap of evidence on Huntby's body, because if there is, I'm going to find it.
May we join you, Doctor?
Please do.
Ez mi a faszom?
Smells almost fragrant. We should analyze it.
Kibelezte a Blinky Bill. Hogy lehet ennyire lórez valami bakker? Ah!
Thanks again for clearing the way to the morgue so quickly. The toxin from the bee stings caused Huntby to go into shock. From there, his blood pressure dropped and his lungs filled with fluid, which stopped the flow of oxygen to his vital organs, eventually stopping his heart. My guess is it was a slow and painful way to die.
Exactly the way Salazar would have wanted it.
Yes, now that you mention it, there are ligature marks on his wrists. There are no stings there, so he was likely tied up while being stung to death. There are similar marks on his ankles as well.
Nem fizetett eleget a Asus reklám meg a Trend Microvírus írtó szoftvernek a reklámozása vajon? Lehet úgy voltak vele, hogy már így is haldoklott a projekt, aztán csak úgy pikpak gyorsan még kiadták azzal, ami volt. Ezekkel a placeholder textúrákkal, az csöcs. Ahhoz képest Tré, hogy az előző szebb volt.
Looks like honey. Another Queen of the Hive reference, maybe. So Huntby is stung to death by bees and his stomach is filled with honey. And we found pollen from a rare species of flower near Manuel Molina's. There have been studies that prove that honey and the pollen it synthesized from share genetic markers. I'd be interested to see if the genetic composition of the honey we found in Huntby's stomach happens to resemble that of the pollen we found near Molina's.
Plant DNA. Szólózöld, vagy sárga, ilyen se volt még eddig.
There
Sassy
can't be a lot
baka.
of honey farms that have this type of rare flower growing nearby. Not in Nevada, anyway. We need to talk to Brass.
Danny Brass!
We found honey synthesized by the southwestern wood lily in Huntby's stomach. Jim, this flower is extremely rare. It only grows in a few places in Nevada, and only one is remotely close to Vegas. If there's more than one apiary there, I'd be very surprised.
A honey farm, huh? Let's find out.
Google search it.
I got a hit, Ray. You were right. It's the only apiary around. Nice work, guys. Let's roll.
R6. Azt a kurva.
Got it. I'll let them know. Thanks. Well, I got good news and bad news.
Good news first, please.
I just got a call from the sheriff in Burl, Utah. They found Huntby's wife and kids safe and sound. Salazar's men hadn't gotten there before the Stadies arrested them.
That is a relief.
The bad news. Nick says that none of the bodies we've hauled out of here to the morgue are a match for Salazar. But Robbins did ID his car thief, Mr. Manuel Gamos.
So Salazar escaped.
It's impossible, Ray. We had choppers in the sky with infrared. We established a secure
Eye
perimeter
on
around the
sky.
place. Now either she's dead and buried somewhere underneath all this rubble, or I don't know.
If she's left any trace of her whereabouts, we'll find it, Jim.
All right, I'm gonna stick around just in case. Let me know if you need me.
This chair might be where Agent Huntby was tied while being stung to death. That's strange. Lots of crushed honeybees next to those which are still completely intact. Did you know the honeybee is over 50% crude protein? Instead of blood, they have something called hemolymph, which should still be detectable in the same way we confirm the presence of blood.
What the fuck is that?
We can't take that.
Nem tudom, mit nézek.
You see that? The LCV is revealing footsteps tracked through the insect's hemolymph.
Ah.
Let's check out where they lead. Here, let me help you with that.
Shh. We need to get this open right now. This could be a tunnel out of here, a bomb shelter, an ammo cache. We don't know. We don't have time
Ilyen
to
izgatott lett.
blow this thing, so get it open. Now.
I'd rather we didn't guess. We might give whoever's inside a warning. Or worse, we might set off another explosion. There must be some way to figure out which numbers on the pad have been pressed.
Oh yeah.
2, 5, 8, and 9. Okay, now that we know the numbers, all we need is the right sequence. 2, 5, 8, 9. Those numbers are familiar. I've seen them somewhere recently. They've got something to do with Salazar. I just can't remember what.
Don't you worry.
Good job.
Nem emlékszek már, faszom.
Looks like Salazar's bribe sheet. Those are the names of all the public officials on her payroll. Brass is going to love this.
He's loving it.
Hold on, that's it. 9582. September 5th, 1982, the day she killed her husband, is the sequence to the combination on the keypad.
Sheesh.
Freeze!
Úgy.
Okay, here's the situation. I'm mobilizing a security detail that will be ready any second. I'll give you the last word with Salazar before we go, but make it quick. Then we're getting the hell out of here, and the first round's on me. All right?
You. I know you. Where's your lady friend with a smart mouth? I'm still going to kill you. You know that, don't you? Are you sure about that, my dear? I own politicians, judges, DAs. Everyone has a price, and I own them all. I do not think you fully appreciate the height to which I have risen. Your reach exceeds your grasp. You will never touch me. The truth is, when I make money, those on that list there, well, they make money too. And I make a lot of money, you see. Why don't you join us? I can make it very much worth your while. You can go to bed tonight, a millionaire, and wake up tomorrow with 10 times that. How does that sound to you?
Shut up!
We'll be sure to note the bribery attempt in your arrest report.
Why, do you really think you'll live that long?
We'll risk it. It's just part of our job.
I didn't kill my son. You killed him when you exposed him.
No, Miss Salazar. Your son was looking for his long-lost mother, and when he found you, you took his life away, squeezed it out of him with your own hands.
You will never understand the cruelty of mercy.
Szuper
I
gonosz.
spared my son this life. You are so very naive. Hasn't anyone ever told you what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? And there will never be anyone as strong as I am.
I'm not sure you could fully appreciate the fact that Huntby betrayed you. Before he died, he compiled detailed information regarding your network of dealers. That information is now in our possession, and we will be handing it over to our own district attorney, as well as the Department of Justice.
I see. Enjoy this moment while you can, Dr. Ray, because it shall be called comfort to you as you weep over the ashes of your family. I want you to be able to remember just how delicious this moment was for you, when all you can taste is fear. Take your time. I have all the time in the world.
I like it. I'm sure more than one will be happy to testify against Salazar in order to save their own ass. I'll pass it on to Internal Affairs after we're done here.
Hol
What do
van?
you want?
Le vagy tartóztatva.
This is not the end. You shall see me again. Not in any jail, cell, or courtroom. No. And when you do see me again, you will beg for your life. And what do you think I shall say to you then? Huh? What do you think I shall say when you beg me for your life? Because you will beg.
Well, thanks to you two, the LVPD is being hailed as the hero for the most successful interruption of illegal drug trafficking since the assassination of Pablo Escobar. Eckley's holding a press conference as we speak.
I'm just glad Beatrice Salazar is in custody.
This Queen of the Hive business has been a rough ride, but you managed to hang on. Believe me, this is going to look pretty good on your quarterly performance review. Hang on, I should take this.
Milyen smug son of a bitch feje van.
What? Oh my god, when? Alright, let me know if you find out anything else.
Something wrong?
Yeah. A prisoner transport was just ambushed en route to the county lockup. She's gone. Salazar's escaped.
Sheesh! 69% skill, nekem nem is kell több. Ennyi, végig van véve ez is. Milyen fasz a kis full motion videó. Világító betűk.